Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Saturday Morning Replay, and this week we're doing Forgotten 80s shows. And with this being the last Saturday of the month, it does mean a couple different things here for us. For one, it is the end of our theme of things we might have forgotten, but also the last Saturday of every month kicks off our 80s week episode. And with this week, we're going to be focusing on forgotten shows of the 80s, and to kind of play a little bit on last week, we're going to be focusing a little bit more on forgotten 80s animated series. Let's go ahead and get to the first one on our list this week. Number 1, Macron 1. In 1985, Saban Entertainment combined two different Japanese series, Go Shogun and Operation and Subspace Struggle, to form Macron 1. The show followed the story of David Chance, a test pilot that's accidentally transported into a parallel universe that's controlled by an evil organization called GRIP, led by Darkstar. When David enters the universe, it allows GRIP to send their forces to Earth. Macron 1 fights Darkstar and his soldiers on Earth, which that portion uses the footage from Go Shogun, and Beta Command fights the remaining soldiers in the alternate dimension, and that portion of the show uses the footage from Struggle. Saban integrated popular songs of the time into the show as well, everything from Safety Dance to Michael Jackson's Beat It. Number 2, The Snorks.
Come along with the Snorks.
Snorks was created by Hanna-Barbera in 1984 as a sister series to the Smurfs. The Snorks are small undersea creatures that live in Snorkland, and they use their snorkels on their head to propel them throughout the water, and whenever they get excited, their tube makes a snork sound. They first encountered humans back in the 1600s when they saved the life of a sea captain. Since then, the Snorks adapted many habits of the humans, such as wearing clothes. Throughout the series, Snorks encounter other humans and other species of Snorks, but unfortunately the Snorks were never able to reach the level of popularity of the Smurfs. Number 3, Heathcliff.
Heathcliff, no one should terrify their neighborhood.
Heathcliff aired in 1984 and was Deke Entertainment's second attempt at making a cartoon based on the comic strip of the same name. Heathcliff, voiced by Mel Blanc, is a street-smart outdoor cat that loves to fight, lie, cheat, and steal to get what he wants, especially if that's food. He shares a lot of similarities with Garfield, mostly that he's an orange and black cat that loves food. There's also a gang of cats that hang around with Heathcliff called the Cadillac Cats, and they tend to get into quite a bit of trouble together. Number 4, The World of David the Gnome.
Look around you. There are many things to see.
David the Gnome was a Spanish cartoon based on a character in a Dutch children's book. The show was later dubbed in English in 1987 and released on Nickelodeon. The show introduces David and his wife Lisa, two gnomes that are nearly 400 years old, that work together to repair the damage caused by humans. David is a doctor and tends to small animals and other gnomes in the forest, and the gnomes rely on animals such as birds and a fox to travel in their journeys and to try to avoid trolls, who have supernatural powers and cast spells too powerful for gnomes to break. Number 5, Denver the Last Dinosaur. Denver the Last Dinosaur aired in 1988 and was made to cash in on the dinosaur craze from the Land Before Time films. The story follows Denver, a dinosaur that's released from his shell by a group of kids in 1980s California. The kids teach Denver several pastimes including skateboarding, and the kids protect Denver from Morton Fizback, a concert promoter that wants to use him to make money. Morton steals Denver and puts him on stage in front of a large crowd, but afraid someone might find out that he's a real dinosaur, he tries to sell him to a scientist. Eventually, Denver ends up back with his friends and they find that they can time travel with him by using a piece of his shell. Number 6, Adventures of the Little Koala.
Brand new day, time to play with Brew Bear and his friends. Where summer never ends, Koala show you how to.
Adventures of the Little Koala was a Japanese cartoon made in the 80s during the koala craze, that started when Japanese zoos received their first koalas from Australia. It was later redubbed in English and aired in 1987 on Nickelodeon, and later became one of Nick Jr.'s very first shows. The show follows Roo Bear, his sister Laura, and their friends in their day-to-day activities such as surfing. Number 7. M.A.S.K.
Masked crusaders working overtime, fighting crime, fighting crime.
In 1985, the media franchise of M.A.S.K. was introduced by Kenner with a toy line and an animated series from Deke Entertainment. M.A.S.K, or Mobile Armored Strike Command, is an underground task force led by Mac Tracker that fights the criminal organization of Venom. And Venom stands for Vicious Evil Network of Mayhem and is led by Miles Mayhem. The two groups use vehicles that are able to transform into different types of combat and armored vehicles. M.A.S.K could probably be described as a mix between Transformers and G.I. Joe, although after the first 2 seasons, for some reason the story was changed from fighting crime and terrorism to a racing theme. Number 8. Dungeons & Dragons.
Hey, look! A Dungeons and Dragons ride!
Dungeons & Dragons was a show from Marvel and Toei Animation that ran on CBS in 1983. 6 friends visit an amusement park, and a roller coaster transports them into the realm of Dungeons & Dragons. They meet the Dungeon Master, and each of them are given a magical item. The group tries to find a way home while avoiding Venger, a powerful wizard that wants to rule the realm, and thinks the magical items the 6 friends have would help him in his conquest. The group encounters a number of creatures while in the realm, including Tiamat. Number 9. Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Gummy Bears was produced by Disney in 1985 to air on NBC, but was later moved to ABC. One day, Michael Eisner's son requested the Gummy Bear candy, which caused the inspiration for the show to be written. The story goes that in ancient times, gummy bears and humans lived in peace. But humans wanted to steal the magical and mechanical advancements of the gummy bears, leading them to live in secret. The story follows the Gummy Glen gummies, who live in a hollowed-out tree and have a large network of underground tunnels and rooms. They harvest gummy berries from the forest to create gummy berry juice, which allows them to take on elastic qualities and even bounce. They try their best to remain hidden from humans, except for a servant named Cabin. Number 10. Bionic Six.
We are a family. I fight for them, and they fight for me.
Bionic Six was a Japanese-American series produced by TMS Entertainment in 1987. The show takes place in the future when a new form of technology is invented to augment humans with bionics. The first test subject is a pilot named Jack Bennett. After the procedure, Jack goes on a family vacation in the Himalayas, but his spacecraft causes an avalanche that buries his family in the snow, and they're also exposed to a radioactive object that's buried with them in the snow. Jack manages to free himself, but finds that his family is comatose. The same bionic technology is implanted into his family, which allows them to awaken, and the family now operates as a team of superheroes known as the Bionic Six. The Six primarily fight against a mad scientist known as Dr. Scarab and his gang of henchmen. That's everything for this week's episode of the Saturday Morning Replay. If there's anything that I missed, please put it in the comment section below so I can make sure to get to it in a future episode. And if you guys liked everything that was on the show this week, a thumbs up would be much appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's all-new episode. And with February, we're going to be starting a whole new theme as well. And until next week, my name is Chad. Have a good one.